that work for home orders is like decimating them.
Okay, like they can't make it work, I guess.
Like apparently just none of their employees have like computers at homes. They can't do anything because they're literally not allowed in their office because of it's 2020, the thing.
The thing. Monetized! Demonetized! Yeah. That's gonna be a problem. Especially, like, you know, moving forward and stuff.
I also just heard really weird stuff. Now, this last one I don't really believe, but apparently, like, because Sakurai, like, works, like, in, like, sort of, offshoot in Nintendo, but not directly Nintendo. But apparently because he had to order some, like, supplies for his employees, but they couldn't use their, like, business account, so he literally just used his own personal Amazon account. And it's like, what kind of weird, like, corporate weirdness is going on there? It's such a random thing to make up, too, so it's like, I half believe and half don't, because who would be, like, gonna make up this story about Sakurai using his Amazon account?
Yeah, I mean, you could make up a way crazier story if you want to, like, just put something out there. Huh. All I know is that, I'm the people on Reddit that are like, yeah, Nintendo, I've put 800 hours into Animal Crossing, and it's boring now.
Yeah,
where's the updates?
I wonder why it's boring.
It's like the most, like, millennial thing ever. Yes, hello. I put 800 hours into this game, and it's, like, I don't feel I got my $60 out of it. Like, where's the free DLC? Like, oh my god. I play games that are, like, 5 hours long, and I'm like, that was enjoyable. Like, holy crap.
What is this? Albus is giving us a piece of the Dominus?
Seems good. Death.
So this is actually Dominus. So the Dominus glyphs are insanely strong. Like, it is kind of, like, crazy that they give you these so early, but the major drawback is that they take so much of your health. It takes, like, 20% of your health to use it at one time. But especially, you'll see later on, there's one unfortunate side effect about the Dominus once you gather all three of the glyphs, but I'll show that off when we get to it.
Rip.
By the way, this game isn't super long. I'm really hoping to get it done in about, I would say, 3 or 4 sittings.
Okay.
So, getting it done in 3 or 4 weeks.
I mean,
doing Alone in the Dark.
You already, like, saved 2 of 13 or however many villagers, so...
I already spoiled that the Castlevania does show up, but the Castlevania in this game is very short, relatively. It's probably like 1/3 the length of the normal castle in any other game.
I'm not a big fan of that enemy.
It's just hard to see.
Hello, the creature. I almost said hello, Frankenstein. Ugh. AVGN would have got very mad at me. Okay, that's a cool version. That's one book I want to read sometime. Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. And the funny thing about it is, like, it's not anything like what you would think. I mean, clearly it was written in, like, the 1800s, you know. So what was considered, like, hardcore or whatever back then is, you know, not even close to now, but... It's just funny how, like, it is, like, the horror thing, you know, Frankenstein and whatever, but it's, like, not altogether, like, a horror, like, book, from what I understand. I bought Bram Stoker's Dracula, like, a couple years ago and was, like, kind of paging through it and stuff, and, like, it's very, very interesting how little Bram Stoker's Dracula is like Castlevania or the movie Dracula or any of that stuff. It's, like, essentially, like, mostly, if not all, letter correspondence between, like, people. Like, including Dracula. Like, most of the story is told through, like, letter correspondence.
That's
like, dearest blah blah blah, I'm going up to whatever. Like, that, it's not told like a story. So, it's very, very, very interesting that that book
Use your move,
started
dude.
so much.
Piece of garbage.
What are you waiting for?
In this game, if a creature uses a magic move, you can actually absorb the glyph. And sometimes you get some really strong magic out of it. I think this guy uses magic. He's not doing it. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. I think... Maybe he doesn't. Maybe I'm thinking of another one. I'll give him 2 more attacks.
1.
Because later in this game, I'm pretty much going to be sticking, like, almost exclusively to magic. Yeah, I guess he doesn't. Sorry that I wasted 30 seconds, folks.
It's all over. Why are there cats meowing?
Because actually collecting cats is a thing to do in the village.
Oh.
I forget exactly which NPC likes it, but I think you get some sort of reward for getting all of them.
Well, that's nice. Do you have kind of like the souls in the Dawn of Souls game or whatever? Do you have a list, like a specific list of them, like where you can like collect them all, so to speak?
There's a lot less, like especially Aria of Sorrow and Dawn of Sorrow. There's a lot less glyphs than in those games, so it's not exactly hard to. I'm kind of scared of that. It's not exactly hard to get all of them.
Can I see the like list or whatever?
What, like what I have?
Yeah. Well, no, like
Oh, it doesn't have all of it. No.
Oh, it's not like a checklist, is what I was kind of asking. That's a shame.
Yeah, you're thinking of like a Bloodstained sort of thing.
Maybe, yeah. And I think Dawn of Souls does the same thing. Or even, I want to say Symphony of the Night for, like, all the familiars and stuff. But I guess it is what it is. You can still try to collect them all. It just doesn't have a fancy-dancy checklist. That's nice. I like that they have these, even on, like, the not super big ones.
Now, this one, luckily, is, like, a little bit bigger. But, yeah, a lot of them are pretty short.
I think my one major complaint, just watching, obviously I'm not playing, is that, like, I think you move a little slow. Like, just a little. Like, increase it, like, 10 to 15%.
Yeah, that's a problem that I have with most Egovania games.
What is Egovania? Like,
the guy who makes the Metroidvania, his name's Iga, I-G-A, all in caps. I forget his actual name. But he also, when he split from Konami, he made the Kickstarter for Bloodstained.
oh, okay.
But yeah, he's pretty much the guy behind all the Metroidvania games.
I just feel like that's the only thing that would, like, kind of bother me a little. And in Bloodstained, you start out very slow, and then you end up getting some of the coolest moves in the history of mankind, where you can run so fast.
Yeah, you'll see that there is also another glyph in this game that's exactly like that. You run 5 times faster. But just like Bloodstained, you get it really late in the game, which is always the kind of frustrating thing about games that are structured like this. Or even most RPGs, where it's like, oh, you got the really cool abilities and magic, the game's 80% of
yeah. And I think we've talked about that at length. It's, like, very difficult to be like, here's the cool thing, but you get it really early on, you know? It's like, it's just a weird...
No.
It's just, like, very difficult to do, and that's how, like, I find myself in most RPGs kinda, you know... At the end, you're like...
Go.
So close. You find yourself saving up all the stuff for the end, you know? And then you're like, oh, it is the end, you know?
Alright, so we got the swap glyph thing. So this lets me swap glyphs, or glyph sets, in the middle of combat, which is very nice. Kind of the unfortunate thing about this game is it really rewards you to use the same glyph on both attacks because they combo into each other really fast. But because of that, you're only using one move. And even with 3 sets, it can feel a little bit stifling. We just got like a lightning move.
That's cool.
Magic in this game in general is pretty nice. The only bad thing about it is that it uses a lot of MP, and okay.
I remember this boss.
Yes, this is a very cool boss.
I must have got this far because I do remember this boss.
Yeah. This boss is definitely a standout, but it's also very hard. Shaw. Shank. Alright, so this guy really doesn't have like a specific health bar. What you just try to do is just damage him until he breaks the ceiling. Pretty much the safest way to do it is to get down over here.
Can he hit you there?
He can sometimes, especially if he does that bubble move. But in general, you don't want to go to the bottom right because that huge claw is in the way. I would have got out of that way if I was actually crouching.
I love bubble attacks with crabs. Like, obviously it hurts you, but, like, the idea of bubbles hurting you is very funny. It's such an RPG thing. He's red! That means he's hurt! Or angry. One of the two.
Alright, actually break it, please. You piece of garbage. I don't know why it does that sometimes. Alright, so there's pretty much 3 sections of this.
He's back to normal color, folks. We're okay. Oof.
Yeah, I'm getting greedy. I should just play it safe.
Oh, is this main character Belmont or Morris?
I don't think she's either. I don't remember what her last name is, but it's just Shanoa something.
Okay, so it's not one of the clan.
No. She specifically is able to combat Dracula. You'll figure out why a random girl can do it.
Oh, because she's Dracula's daughter or something.
No, it's actually way cooler than that.
Oh, good. Interesting. Maybe, I don't know. There's so many different things. You know, one of the most underrated Castlevanias. In fact, I'm gonna go ahead and easily say the most underrated Castlevania of all Castlevania games is Bloodlines on the Genesis. People rarely talk about it, but it is honestly, all things considered, it's really only like a half step down from Castlevania 4. Like, it's really good.
Yeah.
And it's on the Genesis, so people forget that it exists. The reason I thought about it is I was like, they should do like an Elizabeth Bathory thing for Castlevania, and I was like, yeah, they essentially did on for Bloodlines. Like, I don't know if it was exactly like the name they used, but
do I have meat? I think this will be good enough to tank because he takes like 30. Oh no! No! Fine. I'll use the punch. I just really don't want to die.
Does that kill him? I thought that him doing that would fall on him or something.
No, son. You know what's happening. Boom!
Oh, so cool.
Yeah, so satisfying.
Shaw.
Yeah, and they reused that sound clip
later.
Yeah, for some random bosses too. Alright, so at this point, especially with this...
What the?
This is like a light ball magic attack, so I'm going to be trying to use magic a little bit more often. So, whenever I play this game, I usually stick to melee for the most part, but especially when I was playing it like yesterday and today, really using magic a lot is pretty fun. I'm not going to say it's necessarily better, but it definitely makes the combat a little less monotonous.
3 villagers!
Thanks.
My god, my DS is talking to me. I love back in the days of games where, like, there would be one voice clip and you're like, Ghostbusters! It's the second AVGN reference. Or, literally the IntelliVoice. Why is this Intellivision talking to me? Hello. And now games take 150 gigabytes for the download.
See you later. Right.
Feels good.
How is it?
Alright, so the guy we just saved is the blacksmith, and especially if you get him the material he needs, he gives you some good armor. Can this guy help me?
Yo, there you are.
Yo! I live in the 19th century and I say yo!
Yo, bro!
I will say I love games.
There you
I don't
are.
have Sage, that's crazy.
I love games with a central hub like this. This is that whole Soul Blazer kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where you go and you out in the world, you find people, you find things, and it gives you more options in the game. I just love it.
Yeah, it has such a nice feedback loop. So we already got the underwater thing, so that's nice.
Oh wow. Dude, right there, the move you did, like, worked with the bass in the song. That was weird.
Really?
It was like dun, 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 dun. That was weird. Everyone, go back there and tell me I'm crazy. That's fine.
Yeah,
I like-
this electric move looks cool, but especially you can see how much MP it takes, and it really doesn't do that much damage. So I'll be using it for a bit, but especially when we get there's usually like 3 tiers of each thing. Like there's a weak sword, a medium sword, and then a strong sword, and that applies to most magic and other weapon types too.
This bitch is like, deal with it.
Is there even anything down here?
That enemy.
So, big problem with this move, if you don't see, is it's good for crowd control, but especially if you're going against one specific guy, it's not super good.
Yeah. I'm a dark octopus. These things have like extremely long death animations for those octopus.
Yeah, those octopuses are actually in Symphony of the Night.
Huh.
These fish heads are also in Symphony of the Night.
I remember those. Symphony of the Night, I think you already did the game, and then I think you already did Richter.
Yeah, I did Richter like a year or two later. And that was cool. But Richter mode, I didn't feel like doing all bosses. It was just like a 30-minute get the Dracula playthrough.
Speedrun, when? I don't know. Try to figure out other ways you could just play that game again.
I could do like a randomizer, but I don't know how interesting that could be.
Oh, goodness.
I could do Maria mode, but Maria is not super interesting.
You know, that's one of the things that like upsets me. I know I have the Japanese Castlevania, or I know I did for the Sega Saturn, and I don't even know if it's really expensive, but I cannot find it.
Yeah, I definitely don't have it either, so I didn't take it.
It's a shame.
Oh. Here's one
This-
that definitely has...
This looks the same.
I think this has actually a really good ice attack. Come
Hi,
on,
guy.
buddy. Could you do anything except fly into me? I know for a fact I am not... I know that he does a magic attack. Just use it, you piece of garbage. There we go.
That's cool. I like that.
Alright, so this one's actually really good. I think I'm gonna actually bench the lightning attack already.
See a lightning attack?
It just isn't good.
Get the beep.
Now the unfortunate thing is that obviously since we're underwater, ice isn't super good against a lot of things. A lot of things in this game have different like attributes of either like being weak to like striking or like blunt weapons, or obviously elemental things. But especially in this game, they really embrace that more than anything. Like even like skeletons are like resistant to like ice attacks and most like sword type weapons. They're weak to blunt attacks, which, I mean, makes sense. But pretty much all the other Castlevania games don't bother with that.
It's everyone's favorite things, underwater stages.
Yeah, they get them out of the way, and luckily, it's weird because the way that Castlevania handles water is just like, you just can jump forever and you're slightly slower.
Yeah.
It's like pretty odd.
In a game where you're already kinda a little too slow, makes it a little rough. Bloodstain definitely has something where, like, you can then move freely through the water. I'm pretty certain I remember that. So, like, you start out slow. Yeah, today's gonna be an underwater day. We're doing this, and then I'll be playing Soma.
Oh, yeah.
I'm probably gonna do a Game Boy Theater real quick. I'll make sure to pick something water-themed. I don't know if that exists.
Waterworld.
On the Game Boy?
Yeah, bro.
Let's just do Virtual Boy Theater.
Don't you have every game?
Yeah, we could do 14... Why? How would you... I mean, we would obviously have to emulate it.
Do you also have Jack Bros, like, English boxed?
Yeah.
I'm Spencer.
I bought that... Guess who? You remember? I don't think you... Do you remember who I bought that from? It's someone we haven't seen in a while.
No Wallet Steve.
No Wallet Steve.
Oh, yeah, that...
No Wallet Steve.
I'm surprised it wasn't Mr. Fred.
Fred is based, but
best
doesn't have
room.
everything. What is this?
So, we have to push this barrel that's a bomb very awkwardly.
If you hit it, does it explode?
It does explode.
Cool.
And they definitely designed this specifically to have one of these guys spawn every once in a while to be annoying. So you, like, might accidentally strike it. Yeah, it's very purposeful.
Yikes.
There's 2 of these rooms. This one's way worse than the second one, because this one's just awkward. Especially right here.
Well, like how it doesn't even... It doesn't even,
Luckily, it touching it does not explode.
Yeah, that would be awful. But, like, you can't even, like, kind of stay with it. It only has that, like, amount of movement. But whatever, it's done.
Slow down.
Yeah.
Nice, I remember this. I'm pretty sure I missed a couple secret rooms, so if you see me have random extra items, I'm using my main save file.
Does this game have a percentage complete thingy?
Yeah.
Rate
thing.
So,
no,
yeah.
that's just map percentage. That's how most of the Castlevania games do it.
No, I was just wondering, like, if you miss, like, a thing in level 1, like, that if it would not be 100%.
Yeah, if you miss a single tile in this game, it's not 100%.
Rip.
Alright, I'd really like to get this area over with and then call it apart.
Speaking of Jack Brothers, I wonder if it's actually a good game. It's Atlas, right?
It's like a weird... I saw gameplay of it. I never played it myself, but it's like a randomly generated roguelike, like top-down game.
Oh, God.
So it looks alright.
Yeah.
It definitely looks like baby's first roguelike, so it's not
Well, I
something
mean,
super
that's what I want.
complicated.
When I'm playing the Virtual Boy, I want something that gets me playing for hours on end.
Yeah.
I do, you know, that would actually be something I'd like to do as a playthrough sometime. Obviously, pure emulation, because I don't know how we would do it otherwise, but...
How would you even do it?
Hook,
You would have to do the AVGN style of just aiming a camera through a freaking goggle and then playing it through one of them.
I mean, to be fair, he filmed that, what, like 13 years ago, when they definitely did not have, like...
But, like, even now, it's like, how do you do it without
Yeah, you just don't.
emulation?
I'd like to do Wario Land at some point.
That game's amazing. I actually played through that a couple years ago, and it's like, that game's so good. It's like... But it's one of those very typical, like, why is it on Virtual Boy?
Yeah.
It's just a 2D platformer.
Yeah.
It's a really good 2D platformer, but why is it on Virtual Boy?
I mean... Yeah, it has that, like, 3D where it's like, it's the background, and you're like, okay, that's fine. But, like, that
Like,
would...
even... What's it called? What's the Mario game called?
Mario Clash?
Yeah, even that game has, like, more of an exclusive to be on the Virtual Boy. I guess Wario Land, you do jump between the foreground and background.
The 3D Tetris game, as someone who stinks at Tetris, makes my head explode. Because it's like, hey, you good at Tetris in 2D? No. Well, let's add another dimension, bro.
Holy crap, I just got a really, really rare drop.
Wait. From the thing or from the...
So, some chests have a chance of being a rare chest, which is like the green chest with the sparkles. But a lot of times you just get like slightly upgraded materials. Like if a area has like bronze ore, and you find a rare chest, it's like more often than not just going to be like iron ore. But I just got the gold ring. That is insane.
So what, you get stronger as you have more gold?
Yeah, it's just for luck, and you need a lot of gold, so it's not super useful except for like endgame. But that's like insane. First of all, like even seeing those, I think I saw like one other rare chest, and like they barely ever happen.
Wow.
So of course the dog is just.
Thank you. Oh, it's because it's Castlevania. The dog started literally with
Yeah.
Castlevania 4, so it knows. It knows. Thank you, dog. You ever notice ever since we put up the painting of Castlevania 4, the dog's been very nice? I've noticed. It's like, finally, you did it. Oh, this one, you just move it to the right.
Yeah, so this one isn't nearly as bad. Still a little awkward.
Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, this conceivably seems like it's a game you could play in, like, a day, if you make, like, a day of it.
Yeah, if you know what you're doing, I would say this game's like 6 to 8 hours long.
Yeah. Boom!
And I had the luxury of doing a lot of stuff off screen, so I'll have to see it.
Oh, so, like, you're gonna get to a point and you're just gonna, like, grind or whatever off screen?
Yeah, get like items or something somewhere else.
It's the best part about LPs, getting that grinding off screen.
Although doing this game underleveled, because I was playing today and yesterday pretty quickly, and doing bosses underleveled is pretty fun.
I can imagine.
Especially this game, I think has better difficulty design than like something like Symphony of the Night or basically most of the Castlevanias. Like this game never feels like it is easy.
Ooh, that takes even more now.
Yeah, I also have I might equip that. I have the Priestess Ring.
What's the level max, do you know?
What? For like character
You.
levels?
Yeah.
Probably 99.
Oh, okay. I know in some of the other ones it's like 30 or
this is not the
50.
one I'm thinking of. I think I'm looking for the Magician Ring.
Yeah.
Shield Glyph, the most useful.
I'm sure you use it all the time. Just like in any fighting game.
Slow down.
Dude, that's one type of game that I just don't know if I'm ever gonna like really understand is like one-on-one fighting games. Like I get them. I love Soul Calibur 2.
Yeah.
I can play, you know, Trevor can put a Street Fighter game in front of me, or we can do a Let's Try. But, like, Ferris and I have been playing the Genesis Classic a lot, and he could play Street Fighter 2 with me for, like, 45 minutes at a time. And I'm like, okay, Hadouken, I get it. You know what I mean? Like, I try every character once, and I'm like, and he's like, oh, we only played, like, 10 minutes. I'm like, no way, we played, like, a half hour, you know? Or, like, even Eternal Champions, which is, like, really, like, very, very, I guess, average or above average. It's not bad. Like, fighting game is like, oh, yeah, and it's like, what? Also, I cannot believe they put Virtual Fighter 2 on that system. Like, what is the point?
Yeah.
Like, early Virtual Fighter games. It's like, I would rather play Eternal Champions 1,000 times. But yeah, I don't get it. I mean, I know there's people whose, like, their entire lives is just, like, fighting games.
Yeah, it's one of those games that it's like, on a surface level, it's like, how much you put into it, I think, is what you get out of it.
Yeah.
And if you have, like, something like Big Mike has his fighting game community, and, like, he's really into fighting games. And, like, in that environment, I can understand it. If you have just, like, a whole bunch of friends that are just like, hey, let's play some fighting games, and you just keep playing them, you just get better and better, and then you start being competitive about it. Like, I can see the lure there, but yeah, in general, I do somewhat agree.
I don't know. I guess it's also one of those things where you could absolutely say, you gotta get good, and I'd be like, yes, I am not
I generally
good,
avoid
get it.
fighting games because I do not have any work ethic at all, but I also get mad when I lose, so that's like the two things that are the worst that you can find in a player.
I do like watching the videos of people getting mad at fighting game tournaments. That's nice. Or like, especially Smash ones, because we all know the character type of, you know, Smash people. And it's just funny to see them like get mad at each other, but be like, you know, as passive-aggressive as humanly possible, and it's just quite amazing.
Yeah, because they're livid, but they're also beta males, so it's like, it's really funny.
Yeah, so like, they'll like, I don't know, they won't just go up to each other and be like, yo, say that to my face, or whatever, like, not that I condone that, but it's like, they'll like, do really awkward handshakes and stuff, and it's like, God, just don't, like, stop it, you know? It's just, it's so good. And also, in every community, and I don't mean to go down, like, a dumb road here, but in every community, there's just so much drama. It's like, I found myself a couple weeks ago reading about some, like, big Smash player that, like, has this, like, crazy amount of, like, allegations and drama and stuff, and I'm like, why can't you just play a damn video game without having, like, every single,
it's the most, like, yikes, like, oh crap type of allegations, too.
Yeah! I was talking to Tyler the other day, I'm like, Tyler, why is literally, like, there was someone who had a really good tweet, they were like, my favorite moment in Smash history is when Redacted beat Redacted after Redacted lost the championship or whatever, because all those people were, like, out of the community, you know what I mean? Like, from, like, whatever crazy allegations and drama, and it's all obviously awful, but it's like, why can't these people just freaking play Smash or play games or whatever?
Alright, I think I'm done then. I wanted to do 2 more areas, but it's a little bit too long. So, see you later, folks.
We'll see you next time on CIBLB's Buy Sheets! Or don't, it's fine. Either way.